Hey folks, welcome to Testing Hacks. In this video, we will see for loop. So, before we begin, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Let's begin. The Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times. As it says, for loop, it is used to iterate a specific part of the program several times. Suppose you have a requirement to print numbers from 1 to 100. So at that time, you can make use of this for loop and print 100 numbers. Let's see it how. If the number of iteration is fixed, then only it is recommended to use this for loop. If it is not finite, or if you are not sure of what is the number of iteration it has to iterate, then it will go into infinite loop. So in that case, it will be not a successful program. So you should otherwise it is recommended to use this for loop only when you know how many times this has to iterate. And a for loop consists of three things. Basically, one is initialization, condition, increment or decrement. For example, here is a syntax. Initialization is where suppose you have to initialize before you have not initialized a variable at the top. So at that time, here only you can initialize, say int I. Let's take I. I is equal to 0 or 1. So this is the entry point. From this particular value, it starts printing the number. Okay. Value of I is whatever we give here. And then condition. Condition is suppose you want to print a particular number till 100. You have to say the value of the I is greater than or equal to 100, and then you have to increment or decrement the value. Okay, so we will see how does it work via the code. Okay, let's create a new Java class. Say this as for loop, and I'll check this um, public static void main. Okay, so let's start with a simple for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10, and then I plus plus. And in this case, what you have to print? You have to print the value of I, right? So let's print the value of I. Int should be declared here. Okay. So now let's save this and let's run this particular code. Let's see what is the number we will get. We got 10 numbers starting from 0. And if I make this as 1, okay, and I'll save it and then I'll run it. So this is the starting point. Okay, this is the initialization place. Suppose if you want to start the value of I from 2, then also it is okay. It will start printing it from the value 2. And then you are telling that the value of this I should be greater than or equal to or lesser than or equal to this particular value. It is based on the condition that you want to put. Okay, this is the condition. And here incrementing the value here. How? First it will start from 2. Okay, and then it will check the condition. Is 2 less than or equal to 10? The condition is true. So what it will do, it will enter into this loop and then it will print the value 2. Okay, and what is the next process? It will increment the value of I by 1. Okay, so which means that now the value of I is 3. Okay, and now it will check whether 3 is less than or equal to 10. The condition is satisfied, then it will print this number. It will come into this loop and then it will print this number. In the same way, it will iterate until this condition is false. Okay, so now let's see how to decrement this value. Here I'll make this as 10 and then I'm um, asking it to a value of I should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I'm decrementing now. Okay, and then I'll say I minus minus. Okay, now what it will do is first it will print the value of I as 10. Okay, and it will check the value of I, that is 10, is greater than or equal to 0. The condition is true. It will come into this loop and print the value. Okay, and again it will go back and it will decrement. So now the value of I will become 9, and then it will check 9 greater than or equal to 0. The condition is satisfied. So in the same way it will decrement until this value, this condition gets false. Let's run this program. Okay, see, now it got printed in this way. First it printed 10 and then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it is decrementing the value now, right? So in this fashion we did it. Suppose say you made a mistake. Instead of putting this condition, you just said I less than or equal to 0. Here it will check. How does it check? Whether it will check that 10 less than or equal to 0. The condition is completely wrong. It has not been satisfied. In this condition, what happens is, I'll just execute this. You may see that nothing is happening. Okay. Otherwise, let me change this value to something else. Let's see. Yeah. You may notice that it went to infinite loop. Correct. This condition is not getting satisfied. At that time it will go into infinite loop. So that's why in case of for loop we have to be careful that only until this condition is proper, or if this condition must be satisfied, otherwise it will go into the infinite loop like this. Okay, so this is all for this for loop video. Stay tuned until the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.